Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to go on a bit of a digital investigation. We're peeling back the layers on something you use literally every single day, but probably never think twice about. A simple computer file.
You know, every single file you create, I'm talking about that simple document, that family photo, it has a hidden story to tell. Seriously, it's a story of when it was born, how it's changed, and even where it's been. So yeah, let's dive right in.
Okay, so on the surface, a file is, well, it's just a named bunch of data, right? You see an icon, you see a name, maybe a picture. But what's really happening underneath that familiar face? Well, that data, it has a very real physical form.
When you get right down to it, at the absolute core, every single piece of digital information, your emails, your music, those photos, it's all just a ridiculously long string of zeros and ones. That's it. It's like a simple two-letter alphabet that the entire digital world is written in. Kind of crazy when you think about it.
And this is where it gets really cool. You see how those abstract numbers actually become things? A 1 could be a tiny little pulse of electricity, or maybe a shiny reflective spot on a DVD. And a 0? Well, that's just the opposite. This right here, this is the exact point where the digital world literally touches the physical one. So you might be wondering, how does a big old string of ones and zeros become something we can actually read, like the word hello? It's all about translation, using codes like ASCII. For instance, the binary pattern 100001, that always means an uppercase A. Every single character you type gets its own little secret code. All right, so that's the raw data, the ones and zeros. But think about it. How in the world does your computer make sense of trillions of these bits scattered all over your hard drive? It sounds impossible, right? Well, let's peel back the first layer of our digital onion here and see how the computer manages to keep track of everything. The secret? It's something called the file system. I love this analogy. If your hard drive is a massive library, then the file system is the librarian, it's the shelving system, and it's the card catalog all rolled into one. It's the whole shebang. And for most modern Windows systems, that all-important system is called NTFS.
And this right here, this is the heart of NTFS. It's called the Master File Table, or MFT for short. And let me tell you, this is not just some simple list. No way. It's a super sophisticated database with a detailed record for every single file on the disk. I don't care how small it is. The MFT doesn't just know a file's name, it knows its entire life story.
Okay, so inside each of those MFT records, you've got these different attributes that describe the file. Now, for our investigation, there are two that are absolutely key. You've got $standard information, that's the basic stuff you'd see in a properties window. Then you have $filename, which, yeah, pretty obvious, it stores the file's name. But here's the thing, these two attributes hold the keys to a file's secret diary. And, as we're about to find out, they don't always tell the same story. So let's see how these attributes actually build a super detailed timeline of a file's life. And trust me, this is where digital forensics gets really interesting, because these little things called timestamps, they track a file's every single move.
So remember those two attributes we just mentioned, the standard information one and the file name one? Well, both of them contain 4 absolutely crucial timestamps. You'll often hear them called the MACB times, and it's just an acronym for when a file was last modified, when it was last accessed, opened, when its metadata changed, and finally, its birth time, the exact moment it was created.
Okay, so here's the real kicker. The timestamps in that standard information attribute, think of those as the public record. That's what you see when you right-click and hit Properties. And frankly, they can be changed pretty easily. But the timestamps in the file name attribute, that's the secret unseen logbook. You can't see it, it's way harder to mess with, and for an investigator, that's often where the real truth is hiding.
And get this, the precision here is just staggering. We're not talking about minutes or even seconds. NTFS timestamps can record events down to 100 nanoseconds. To give you an idea of how fast that is, a beam of light travels less than 100 feet in that amount of time. It's just insane. And it's that incredible level of detail that allows investigators to put together a chain of events with unbelievable accuracy.
Okay, so we've got the data itself, and we've got the metadata that acts like a map, pointing to it. But what if data is hidden somewhere the operating system itself can't even see? What if, and I'm being serious here, there are secret rooms on your hard drive? It sounds like a crazy question, right? But the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Thanks to some hidden areas that the hardware manufacturers create themselves, your hard drive can actually have space on it that your operating system has no idea even exists.
So one of these secret rooms is called the Host Protected Area, or HPA. Basically, manufacturers created it as a little safe spot to stick essential system tools, like recovery software. The idea was to protect them so they couldn't be easily messed with or deleted, either by you or by a virus.
And then there's another one, the Device Configuration Overlay, or DCO. This one's a bit different. It lets computer makers buy a bunch of hard drives that might be slightly different sizes, say from different factories, and then make them all report that they're the exact same size. It's really just a way to standardize their products. But, and this is a big but, both of these hidden areas can be exploited.
So here's the bottom line. Even though these areas have totally legitimate purposes, they can be accessed if you have the right tools. And what does that mean? It means those secret rooms can turn into perfect hiding places for malware, for stolen data, for pretty much anything someone wants to keep hidden from the good guys.
So you have to wonder, how on earth do investigators actually find anything? How do you find evidence when it can be hidden across so many different layers? You've got timestamps telling two different stories, and you've got whole sections of a hard drive that are basically invisible. It's a huge challenge.
Well, they do it by following a very strict methodical process. Rule number 1, and this is the big one, preserve the original evidence. They use a special device called a write blocker to make sure absolutely nothing can be changed. Then, they create a perfect bit-for-bit copy of the entire drive. And yep, that includes those hidden HPA and DCO areas. All the real work, all the analysis happens on this copy, never the original. And that's when they break out the specialized tools to dig into everything from MFT records to those hidden rooms.
So how do they prove their copy is absolutely perfect? They do it by calculating something called a cryptographic hash. The best way to think about it is like a unique digital fingerprint for all that data. It's a long string of characters that's unique to that specific drive. So they calculate the hash of the original, they calculate the hash of their copy, and if those two fingerprints match, boom, they can prove in court that their evidence is a perfect, untampered, identical replica.
So, when you think about it, every click, every save, every copy, every move, it all leaves a trace. It's like this hidden narrative, this whole secret life that's embedded in the very structure of your data. From the way those physical bits are arranged all the way to the insane 100 nanosecond precision of a timestamp, your files really are telling a story. The only question is, who knows how to read it?